Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Cooper Rush's confidence, connection with receivers growing. Cooper Rush is a veteran quarterback, but doesn't have a lot of in-game experience. Barring an injury, he'll have started at least 9 games for the Cowboys in place of the injured Dak Prescott, nearly double his career starts coming into the season. As time has passed, the Cowboys are getting more and more accustomed to Rush and what he's comfortable with. I think you'd be remiss if you said no, Cowboys offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer said when asked if the confidence level in Rush grows week to week in terms of knowing what he wants. The more you're around the guy when he's playing, and even me on the sidelines talking to him during the week, but it's not just us, it's the players, it's the guys you're throwing to. In his 4 starts this season, Rush has seen a growth week to week in his QBR and has led the Cowboys to back-to-back victories over division opponents. A large part of that success has come from being on the same page with Mike McCarthy as the play caller, as well as his receivers. It's not just us knowing Cooper. I do think now Cooper is more comfortable, consistently saying, "Hey, I like this, hey, I don't really like that, I'm not as comfortable with this," Schottenheimer said. There are certain things that maybe Rush likes differently than Dak likes, and so that moves up or that moves back based on those conversations. The more we go, the more comfortable I would say he is of speaking his mind. In Thursday's win against the Giants, Rush exhibited that comfort level with his fellow veteran wide receiver Brandon Cooks. In Cooks' first game back from injury, he caught 3 passes for 16 yards and touchdown. Those numbers don't blow you away, but 2 of those receptions were the biggest plays of the game, a 2-yard touchdown pass to Cooks to give the Cowboys the first points of the third quarter, and a diving 3-yard catch on 3rd down coming out of the 2-minute warning to ice the victory for Dallas. Both of those plays weren't set up by anything special on game day, but instead on what the Cowboys had worked on during the week in practice, including plenty of conversations between Rush and Cooks to ensure they were on the same page, and in the right spots and the right times. The more these guys play together, the more these guys have those communications and conversations like Brandon and Cooper had leading up to the 3rd down play during a random Tuesday practice. That's the key, Schottenheimer said. Those conversations are invaluable, that you're on the same page, because the timing in the windows is very tight, but it was well-deserved for Brandon, and it was cool to see. The impact that Brandon Cooks has on the Cowboys team and organization cannot be understated, and his connection with Cooper Rush and the rest of the locker room will be a large component of the rest of the season for Dallas. "He's a big part of our football team," McCarthy said of Cooks. "He's definitely someone that the players in the locker room really look to, just a high-quality individual. Everywhere he's worked, his reputation has followed him. It was great to have him back on every front." Micah Parsons reveals major change in Cowboys scheme. The Dallas Cowboys produced one of their best defensive displays of the season in the 27-20 win over the New York Giants at AT&T Stadium. Led by Micah Parsons, who has returned from injury with his hair on fire, and DeMarvion Overshown, who claimed an athletic pick 6, the defense made life a living hell for Drew Lock. With Mike Zimmer's unit now playing easily its best football under his guidance, it makes some wonder what has clicked over the last fortnight. Part of it is the return of Parsons, who had 2 sacks and 3 quarterback hits in the win over the Washington Commanders and backed that up with 1.5 sacks and multiple hurries against the Giants. The other part? Players are now comfortable with Zimmer's system. "I think it's a learning period, everyone understanding a new defense," Parsons said. "Zim's a lot more creative and demanding on how they want people to play the gap, so it was challenging. A lot of the interior guys playing new ways, the corners playing new ways. I think at this point, everyone's comfortable, locked in. I think at this point in the season, everyone's ready." Looking at the numbers produced by Zimmer's defense, Locke will want to forget this performance as quickly as possible. The Cowboys racked up 6 sacks, 14 quarterback hits, 63 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, an interception, and a fumble recovery. Oh, and they held the Giants to just 247 total yards, their second-best effort of the season. With just 4 minutes left in the third quarter, the defense had held Lock to 10 for 19, with 73 yards passing before the late comeback. That tells the story of a dominant defensive display. The adjustment period appears to be over, and the Lion is ready to continue the hunt. 1 year after releasing running back Ezekiel Elliott because his decline in production didn't match his high salary, the Dallas Cowboys are bringing back the two-time NFL leading rusher and third all-time leader in franchise history. Elliott, who played last season with the New England Patriots, has agreed to a 1-year deal worth $3 million, including $2 million guaranteed, per a source. Elliott was scheduled for physical with the Cowboys Monday morning to consummate the deal. His return to the Cowboys has been an open secret since two sides met for dinner last Wednesday, one day before the 2024 NFL Draft. Elliott and his agent Rocky Arsenault have been talking since late March, but the reunion gained steam over dinner at D. Lincoln's restaurant while the Cowboys front office was engaged in draft meetings. Owner Jerry Jones openly talked about Elliott being part of the team's plans on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It's one reason why the Cowboys, who were targeting running backs in the draft, did not force the issue. Every time it was their turn to pick during the draft's 7 rounds, they chose another player ranked higher on their draft board. Elliott will return as the team's starting running back as the most accomplished and more experienced member of a position group that includes the unheralded likes of Rico Dowdle, Malik Davis, Deuce Vaughn, Snoop Conner, and free agent signee Royce Freeman. The Cowboys also added Missouri running back Nathaniel Peat as an undrafted free agent on Sunday. Jones said he saw enough from Elliott with the New England Patriots last season that the veteran could be considered as an answer as the starting running back for the Cowboys, who lost 2023 starter Tony Pollard to the Tennessee Titans. Elliott led the Patriots with 642 rushing yards on 184 carries, with 3 touchdowns. He also had a team-high 51 catches for 313 yards and 2 scores. DeMarcus Lawrence injury update for Monday night against the Bengals. The Dallas Cowboys enter their Week 14 matchup against the Cincinnati Bengals hoping to get their 3rd straight win, a feat they have yet to accomplish this season. Sitting at 5-7, a win on Monday night would put them one step closer to having a .500 record and having a potential chance at the playoffs. Despite having the better record and being at home, the Cowboys are still 6.5-point underdogs as of Monday. It appears that the defensive line will continue to be short-handed, as Cowboys EVP Stephen Jones told the media on Monday that it is a long shot for DeMarcus Lawrence to make his return to the field against the Bengals. Lawrence has been out of action since he suffered a Lisfranc injury to his right foot in the team's Week 3 game against the New York Giants. If there's been one bright spot to the Bengals' disastrous season, QB Joe Burrow has been incredible and the team's offense remains explosive. It is noteworthy that Burrow had a noticeable limp after taking a cleat to the leg against the Steelers on Sunday, and that could impact his mobility if available against the Cowboys in their matchup. However, having Lawrence back would have been big for a Cowboys defensive line that has remained thin throughout the season. While Jones said it's a long shot for Lawrence to play against the Bengals, he did provide optimism for a return sooner rather than later. It's impossible to overstate the impact that Lawrence brings on the field for the team, as he is an effective run defender and pass rusher on the field. Making 4 Pro Bowls in his career as well as receiving a second-team All-Pro selection, the Cowboys have been missing his experience over the course of the season. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Luther Burden? Leave your opinion in the comments.